How's it going, everybody? It's your host, Les Abbott of the Less is More Sports podcast. Matt and I have a very special episode coming at you this weekend, but for the time being, y'all know the drill. You see a video with just me, middle of the week, you know I'm going to stir the pot just a little bit. So without further ado, going to get right into it. Just a reminder, a lot of what we do here at the Less is More Sports podcast is we talk about the social media presence in sports. So today, I really need y'all's help. I found about 3 narratives that keep popping up on my feed that just really don't make sense to me. So what I want you all to do is once this video drops, hear what I got to say, comment in the comment section below and tell me what exactly it is I'm missing, because I have a couple things and they don't make a lot of sense to me. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. So the first narrative I got, and I've been seeing this a lot on NFL pages. I'm seeing a lot of fans tell me that Patrick Mahomes just doesn't look the same. Some posts, some videos have even gone on to say that he flat out looks bad. Somebody please help me out there, because if Patrick Mahomes is playing bad, he's leading the NFL in passing yards. He's leading the NFL in touchdown passes. He's leading the NFL in total first downs accounted for. He's leading the NFL in 20-plus yard throws. He's got a 106 passer rating. His QBR is 76.8, which is the highest since his MVP season. He's on pace for 5,546 yards, 47 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, which would rival his MVP season. Oh, most importantly, the Chiefs are 7-2 and currently the top seed in both the AFC West and the AFC altogether. So please, help me out with there. Because if that's bad, I think personally that is only a staple of how good Patrick Mahomes is. I do have a theory on this one though, because a very popular narrative I heard in the preseason was that Patrick Mahomes was going to regress with the loss of Tyreek Hill. However, the complete opposite has happened. The exact same thing is happening what I predicted on the NFL preseason show. In that because you take away the deep threat, it's going to cause Mahomes to not necessarily rely on the big play so much, but he's going to become more methodical. He's going to actually go through his progressions, actually grow as a quarterback. And that is exactly what we're seeing. His most recent game against Jacksonville absolutely played lights out. I think except for the one interception, but I mean, come on, guys. I mean, he threw 4 touchdown passes, threw for a boatload of yards. I think it was just that was just a case of overconfidence in his throws because he was just having a great day. But what I really stood out to me about that game was the fact that he loses 2 receivers because they have to go out because they took some very hard hits from that Jaguars defense, and they didn't miss a beat, like at all. I think people are really just not wanting to realize how good Patrick Mahomes is. And I always hear the thing about how Patrick Mahomes looks as good as he does because he has a great team. When are we going to start realizing that Patrick Mahomes' teams look as good as they do because Mahomes is that good? So please, someone fill me in what I'm missing on that one. So for my second narrative, and you know, Big Blue Nation, I'm coming right for you all at this one, which you know I just have a problem doing apparently on the show. So anyways, without further ado, I've been seeing on a lot of NFL draft discussions about how Will Levis is just head and shoulders above every other quarterback in this class, over Bryce Young, over CJ Stroud, whoever. I don't get it. Okay, I do, but I don't. And here's where I'm going to go with that one. What have I always said about Will Levis? Against teams that have inferior talent to Kentucky, he looks phenomenal. But anytime you have a team that can match Kentucky talent for talent, he fails to impress me. Like, even in the slightest bit. Against Vandy, his most recent game, it's Vandy. Do I even need to say anything else? He went 11 of 23 for 109 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. The Tennessee game. Obviously, Tennessee is a good team, but they have a bad defense. They're 130th out of 131 FBS schools in pass defense. What does Mr. Levis do? 98 yards, 3 interceptions. So for me, I understand that a lot of Kentucky fans blame the offensive coordinator. They blame maybe not having a big receiver threat. But if he is that good, I need to see a lot better than this. I don't buy that he is this first-round quarterback. I definitely don't buy that he's the best quarterback in this draft class. And I understand he's big, got a good frame, and can throw the ball a mile. That would have been a lot more popular in the early 2000s. Now, with how football has evolved, we don't look at that as much. So I'm sorry, I just cannot see why Will Levis is still considered a first-round quarterback, the top quarterback in some regards, and why so many people think he is without question the best quarterback in this draft class. So someone please explain it to me. What am I missing? So my last narrative, and I know the critics are going to come for my neck on this one because it is about Lamar Jackson. But a narrative that I constantly hear is just how good Lamar would be if he didn't have to carry the Ravens night in and night out. Look, I've done a video on this before where I actually compared Lamar Jackson's supporting cast versus Patrick Mahomes' supporting cast. And unpopular, Lamar had a better supporting cast. Yes, go watch the video. You all have seen it. Some of you all have seen it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But the thing is, Lamar doesn't have as bad. Because I always hear this all the time. I always hear what Lamar doesn't have. And it almost seems like if he doesn't have the best of everything around him, it's not good enough. So clearly, that's one of the reasons why I don't feel like Lamar is as good as you all want to tell me. Because if he really was that good, he wouldn't need all this great pieces in all these places that he apparently doesn't have it. Like I just said with Mahomes, I think what we have to realize about Mahomes is that his teams look as good as they do because he's that good. Lamar, I can't say that about. He's talented, he's dynamic, he's a very good quarterback, but he's not on Mahomes' level. He's not on Josh Allen's level. I'm sorry. So the latest narrative I'm hearing, and I've been hearing this all season long, is that how Lamar has to carry this just bad Ravens defense. Well, here's the thing. They're only allowing 22 points per game. They've only allowed over 25 points, which keep in mind, this is today's NFL. That's actually really good. In the early 2000s, that might have been a little suspect. Today's NFL, that's actually pretty good. They've only allowed over 25 points twice in 9 games. But they've allowed under 20 or under 4 times. They held the Bills, who were at the time the number 1 offense in the NFL, to 23 points. I get it. You keep saying Lamar just doesn't have enough. But when are you all going to realize if he was on the level of every quarterback you're saying he's better than, if he just had this or had that, if he was on those guys' level, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's what you all need to realize. I'm not a Lamar hater. I'm just a realist. So in conclusion, I don't understand why everyone says Mahomes doesn't look the same. Because of reasons I mentioned, and in my opinion, he's the MVP frontrunner. I don't get why Will Levis is, in some people's opinion, the best quarterback in this class. And I don't get how Lamar has ever had to carry the Ravens, period, let alone carry a bad Ravens defense. They've never had a bad defense since he's been there, and it's not starting now. And not to mention with their acquisition of Roquan Smith, it's only going to get better, at least for the rest of the season. So that's what I got for you all today. Matt and I, as said earlier, have a very special episode coming out this weekend. If you follow the social media pages, you know I'm going to be watching the Champions Classic this evening, and I'm going to be going live just to give my takes on what I saw from each game. But thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. As always, like and subscribe to Less is More Sports YouTube and Spotify channel. Follow the social media pages on Facebook and Twitter at Less is More Sports, and Matt and I will get back to you very shortly. Thank you.